Hello and welcome to the real season of the Courtyard Club Calls. I'm Russ Johnson, as always. I'm stepping in for Waggy. He's been waylaid at work, so you won't see me much on these Courtyard Club Calls as the season progresses. But I will dip in every now and again. We're covering obviously the Cambridge match from Saturday. I'm joined by Dan, who is in an SK postcode, I believe. Dan.
Yeah, I'm in SK1 this week. So yeah, I'm at my mum's with the sight of the Portwood roundabout out the bedroom window. So yeah,
No, so you're not far from me then. Not far from me. Not far at all. So yeah, we're going to cover the Cambridge match. Jimmy might join us at some point. He's been waylaid slightly as well, so hopefully he can join us. Let's talk about it then. The first game back in the EFL League One for 14 years. And it was a 2-0 win against Cambridge. Let's cover the first half first, as we should. Let's first go through the lineup. I'm forgetting my own agenda for what we do on this. So we started with a dying net, and we'll cover that in a second, obviously. Torre, Pye, Horsfall, and Mingy. Camps and Bate in midfield. Barry, Collar, Diamond, and Wootton up top. And then for the away team, they had Reyes in net, Okadina, Rossi, Watts, Andrew at the back, Brophy, Smith, Gibbons in the middle, Kachunga, and Kai and Lavery up front. I've got to admit, I've never heard of any of those players. But first things first, Dan, how did you see the lineup? Any surprises for you, notwithstanding we got a view of the lineup before it came out?
Yeah.
A guess of the lineup before it came out.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest sort of question really was it going to be a back three or a back four?
Was that the biggest question, Dan, or was it
no, because we knew that was always going to be a 50-50, to be honest. We always knew that there was a debate over the goalkeeper. So that was never going to, I think the real debate was back four, back three. There was rumours that Will Collar might play as a wing back. With a back three of Pye, Horsfall and Mingy. It ended up being a back four. Obviously, Fevier got missed out on the starting 11. But yeah, no, like I say, it wasn't a million miles away, I think, from what most of us were sort of expecting. Like I say, the goalkeeping was always going to be a 50-50 option. Would you say that was probably if you're going to give somebody their debut for the league debut for the county, a home game against Cambridge, that was probably the easy, Challen has already said that they'll both get equal game time over the next 12 games. So if you're going to give somebody a debut, I think a home debut against Cambridge was probably the right choice to make. Don't read too much into it. Because he started that game doesn't mean he's going to be the keeper that will be first choice in January or February or March.
Yeah, we are definitely getting into an era, aren't we, where keepers often change. It's not, back in the day, it used to be you had a keeper and that was it. If you were number two, you probably wouldn't get in unless they were injured. Or, I think we've got two strong keepers now. We can definitely rotate in that area. Any other surprises for you in terms of the lineup?
No. I mean, no, not really. I expected Bate and Collar to play. Camps, I think, obviously he's got experience this level, and with the players that are out injured and stuff, I think was just a sort of shoe-in. When players come back fit into the team, that who plays alongside Bate might be obviously up for discussion. But at the moment, Collar looks like back to his best, to be honest. The front two was obviously picks themselves because they're the only two that are fit. And apart from that, Jack Diamond, we've seen a lot through pre-season, so he was always going to play. Nothing really drastically that surprised me. Nice to see Jay Mingy to start. Obviously, he hasn't had much pre-season game time under him, so it was obviously he wasn't going to last the 90 minutes, and it seemed that they were targeting him. He was the one that always seemed to be getting kicked up in the air or late tackle on and stuff like that. So he probably woke up Sunday morning a bit battered and bruised, in all fairness to the lad. But yeah, no real major shocks for me.
Okay, good stuff. Yeah, same. I mean, same for me. Really, I've been low on numbers in terms of the sheer number of injuries we've got. So no real sort of surprises, I guess. Fevre missing out possibly could be, but do you think, just before we get into the first half itself, do you think that Challoner maybe learnt his lessons from last year with the Barrow game, throwing a load of new players in, going with Camps, going with Collar, going with Wootton, arguably Barry, Torre, Pye, Horsefall, they all were there at the club last season. Do you think there's a bit of a lessons learnt there, not falling into that trap of the Barrow match?
Yeah, but also I think you've seen at Fevier that what an impact he makes as a sub as well. And as we talk about through as the game goes on, even though we have a lot of injuries, I just thought our subs bench was the difference of getting us over that line. All our subs, same again, made impacts when they came on. And I think that was the big difference between us and Cambridge. So I think, like you say, maybe he's picked that starting 11 and put Fevier on the bench with the sort of mindset that he wants him to come on the pitch, knowing that other players won't get the 90 minutes out of them, and he'll come on the pitch and make an absolute impact like he did.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. Let's move into the first half then. So just looking at the stats. So interestingly, first things first, Cambridge turned us round, which I was thinking that would be less and less, actually. I know that we have got the pull of the Cheadle end in that second half if we're not turned round, but we've still got fans at both ends of the ground, and that's probably going to continue into the season. But interestingly as well, first half, 50% possession. Our XG was more than theirs, owing to the fact that we had 10 shots, 4 on targets, they're 7 and 1. 2 big chances for us. I think we'll come on to the Barry goal in a second, but I'm pretty sure the XG on that was not high because of the type of shot it was, but we'll come to that in a second. We outpassed them. We had less fouls and we out-cornered them as well in the first half. But that surprising stat, 50-50 in terms of ball possession. Are you surprised at that?
No, same again. As we sort of talked about it before, we've in League Two we had a lot of games with a lot high ball percentage, 60-70% of the possession. We know that's not going to happen in League One, and as we go through the divisions, there's going to be games where we don't have the majority of the ball, but it's not how much of the ball you have, it's what you do with it. And then transitions of, going on the attack very, very quickly. And I think we did that really, really well. Same again, like you said about the turnaround. I think, though, lately we've used that to our positive. And I think every time they've turned us around, we've actually started that first 10 minutes or 15 minutes going towards the Cheadle end really, really well. And it's not the big voodoo as it used to be. I mean, I'd be brilliant if the club would allow at half time to fans to move out of the other stands if they want to and go down and take any empty seats in the railway end and pack that out if it's available. But it's not a big voodoo anymore. Like I say, I think sometimes it helps us to start the game more positively, which it did. And we could have scored in the first 30 seconds, I think it was, of that first half. And that set the tone. I think, challengers, without getting fired up too much, then buzzwords of intensity and front foot, straight away from kick-off, they went for it.
Yeah. No, it's good. You're right, and I think the boos are becoming less and less when teams do turn us round, which I think is a testament to the style of play we've got, and we did take it to them early doors, and that amalgamated to Louis Barry on 5 minutes, scoring an XG 0.00001 goal. Let's put it that way, lobbing the keeper. What a fantastic start, and that just relieved all the pressure, didn't it? It did for me anyway. I thought, I'm always conscious that the first game of the season you want to get ahead as early as you possibly can, and that just set the tone for the rest of the match for me.
Yeah, and it was nice for Louis Barry because, like I say, obviously we know all about last season, but obviously when he came back at the end of the season, he missed that penalty at Notts County, and I think he said himself he wasn't fully fit. He was nowhere near showing his best. And I think it was just sort of like a lot of weight and relief off his shoulders to get that early goal and put that one to bed. And same again, yeah. I think just from that first sort of 5-10 minutes, it was, for me, I just thought we looked not out of place in League One.
Yeah,
we look like we can compete in this division. Even before we even Louis scored, I thought, yeah, we will be all right this season. I know all teams will be better than Cambridge, but I just thought we belong at this level.
Yeah. I totally agree with that. That's how I felt as well. And it's easy to sort of sit there, isn't it? And think that it's just Cambridge and they're tipped to go down, as our opposition review guest said on Wednesday. So it's easy to sit there and think that, but this is League One now, isn't it? And even in League Two, these teams are going to come, and if you're not on your game, they will come and take it to you. Cambridge's shots, the amount they created in the first half, is a testament to that as well, because they created 7, even though it felt like we were comfortable, we were sort of, in the game, much better than they were, but they still created some chances and gave us some problems to think about. So as routine as it probably felt, if you're not on your game, they will, especially at this level, and sort of, I would say League Two as well. Teams will punish you if you're not on your game. There was a few shots after that. I mean, in total of 10 shots. I mean, we're not going to go through all of those, but like you say, we did use that shooting towards the Cheadle to our advantage in that first half.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Kyle Wotton chance, I think, did it hit the post, or the keeper make a save, where he's sort of doing an acrobatic, sort of got his foot up high to try and get to it, was a good chance. And obviously then there was the Will Collar offside. Was he offside, not offside? Goal as well, which I still haven't really seen a replay or a video that sort of answers that question. But yeah, we just, players looked, the confidence in certain individuals was growing as the game went on. Same again, Wotton I thought was outstanding throughout the game. Collar again, outstanding. And yeah, they just sort of looked, he's getting stronger and better as the game went on.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was the first half. Then anything of note in the first half beyond that? For you?
No. I mean, like I say, it was just nice to get the nerves out the way. That first goal, I felt that, don't get me wrong, it's the first game of the season. I always think that the version of the team or county for the first game of the season will be always the worst version of the team that we would see during the season, because a lot of them lads haven't played 90 minutes even during pre-season. They haven't had a full 90 minutes out under their belts. Some of them haven't really had much game time together. Let's not forget Jay Mingy and Louis Barry have only had a few minutes last weekend at Carlisle out on the pitch. So, and it's just nice to see that, I think as the game goes on and the season goes on, the relationships and the understanding between the players will only get better and better. But for what we saw in that first half, there was so much more to be positive about than negative.
Yeah, absolutely. Into the second half then. So interestingly as well, second half ball possession, they beat us. So 53% to our 47. Our expected goals was a lot higher than theirs. And we had more shots than them in the second half. Totally outrun them in the second half. Although only 2 on target. They outpassed us, as you would expect if they got more ball possession. But again, I think we limited them to half chances. I don't really remember in the second half Courtyard having to make any notable saves.
He obviously there was Corey had a bit of not a foobar, but where he passed in the first half. He passed the ball to one of their players that led to a chance. Second half, I think he's made a couple of saves. But the bit I love about Corey is what we call obviously it's the dark arts of football. Not the time wasting, but the game management of, and the little things of waiting for the ball to roll nearly to the goal line and then deciding he's going to fall on the ball instead of letting it go out. And he just eats away, not just at the time, but the momentum that the opposition get and stuff like that. So he's, don't get me wrong, he's going to give people heart attacks throughout the season when he plays because, the little dummies and the little, playing it sideways when the attacker's running you down and stuff like that. And people will go, oh, just don't mess about with it. Kick it out. That's not his gameplay. He's not going to do that. He's going to dink it. He's going to, I won't surprise me if we get, during the season, we get a Cruyff turn out of him. He'll nutmeg one of the attackers that'll come out trying to close him down. He's going to nutmeg him and go dribble past him. I wouldn't be surprised if he's actually dribbles past Horsfall or Ethan Pye at one stage in the season. So he's, these defenders that are actually behind him because he's brought the ball out so far. He's going to do people's nuts in, but he gives us a platform to play out from the back, which I don't think Ben does as well as him.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Second half then. So I mean, again, we had so many shots, lots to speak of. Let's go straight to the goal though. On I'm going to say 76 minutes. Great work by Fevrier down the right, sticking with that formation. I think Fevrier sort of came in as I think he played right wing back, didn't he, for Colchester last season? And when he came in, he said, I want to be further up the pitch. And the work that he did down the right to get that, and he did a lot of work down the right as well to get the free kick against Stoke, if I remember correctly. Where Wootton he crossed it in for Diamond crossed it in for Wootton, but great cross from Fevrier, getting that yard of space, looping one to the back post. Wootton's there.
He's very similar in the sort of style of play as Ollie Crankshaw, isn't he? But the difference is he's got a final ball. He's got that little bit. He will, as we saw there, he will beat the defender, put the defender on his bum, let the defender stand up just so he can beat the defender again, and then he's going to nutmeg him, then cross it in, where Crankshaw would do exactly the same, but unfortunately he'd cross it in and put it straight out of play. He's, like I say, he's got... If he can cross them, if he puts 3 balls like that into the area per game, Wootton will get his head to one of them and put it in the back of the net. We've said that all along, that we didn't supply Wootton last season with balls like that for him to attack, and if we can do that this season with him supplying it, and we know that he can supply them. He got the most crosses and assists, I think, in League 1 and League 2 last season, Fevrier. So if he can do that and we can get Wootton on the end of them, then that's a real threat.
Yeah, absolutely. And just looking at the stats for the whole game, really, I mean, we doubled the amount of attempts that Cambridge had, and we've quadrupled in shots on target. Shots off target. Maybe could be a bit more sort of clinical in terms of shots on target. But overall, a really good day at the office.
Yeah, I mean, the clinical bit, I think Jack Diamond's the one that we sort of look at for that. Some great play during the game. Took some really good positions, some really good attacking play. But same again, it just lacked on that clinical bit. There was a couple of times where he sort of threw on goal. And he's not hit the target, made the keeper work. He's put it high and wide or wide. But same again, over the season, I hope that gets better with confidence and stuff like that. But Jack Diamond, clinicalness. The other highlight point of the game, Horsfall. I thought he was outstanding. The player that we signed 2 seasons ago, to compare to now, he's so much more improved. Last season in League 2, I was a bit critical with him because he had a habit of switching off and watching the players watching the game opposed to actually reacting. But like I say, Saturday, he looked like a League One player. He looked quality. There was a tackle he made that was Mike Flynn-esque in the second half. And I thought, same again, he's a player that's improved. He's not the same Fraser Horsfall that we signed from Northampton. He's a better player than what he was. And he looks, same again, that he's over the pre-season, he's, same again, worked hard at his game and looks better than what he did last year as well. Same again, likes of Will Collar and Wotton and stuff like that we can say that it's because they've had a proper pre-season, but they just look better versions than what we had last season.
Yeah, absolutely. A special mention for a couple of players from my perspective as well. Yeah, Jack Diamond, he excites me anyway. I think he's going to be a real star for us. Probably needs some end product, but I think that will come. I think Charlie will coach that into him, or he'll just get confidence and get used to playing with the team. I thought Torre had a really good game, and Torre looked like a League One player to me. He was steady, solid at the back. He was running forward. He was making very, very little mistakes. So he was one for me. Camps as well. Thought Camps had a really good game. Okay, picked up a yellow card, but again, I think it's down to that continuity of he's been here a while. Probably he's played at League One level before, so he's got that experience. And I thought he had a really, really steady game. Barry, obviously, he played well. The one that stood out for me though was Wotton. Wotton was, I think it's the first pre-season he's had, isn't it? Where he's had a full pre-season. He just looked unplayable at times.
Yeah, definitely. And same again, we know the hard work that he does. We know, same again, Challoner mentioned it in his post-match, that still the referee was giving free kicks against him for things that were happening to him, but the referee would ignore it. And like I say, obviously Barry's goal came from obviously his flick on. For a header that he had no right to win, to be honest, because he was, if you watch the highlights, I think he was second best for that ball all the way till he got made connection to his head. So he had no right to win that ball for me, but he did. He's flicked it on, and obviously Barry's then obviously lobbed the keeper. But yeah, no, like I said, I've always been a big fan of Wotton. I know he doesn't score the goals that last season that people think that he should do as a forward, but he gives the team such a platform. And same again, it just seemed on Saturday they've obviously a bit wary of Louis Barry, and they seem to sort of double up on him a little bit at times, that played him and play him out the game. Same with Wotton, they sort of closely marked him out. But what that did, I think, in turn, is then give Collar that licence then to break from midfield and run through the lines. And they, because they were doubling up on Barry and Wotton and concentrating on him, they just turned a blind eye to Collar a lot of the times.
Yeah, and do that at your peril. Thinking about sort of the end, the sort of last few agenda items, then who was your man of the match? Because the sponsors gave it Collar.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. I think if you wouldn't argue with anybody, to be honest, if they give it to anybody. It's one of them games. Nobody had a bad game. Even the substitutes. Fevier came on really exciting when he came on. Made an impact. Forgot his name, but the young lad from Everton that we signed.
Yeah, Tyler Iango. Yeah.
I thought he was outstanding. He came on as right back for Jay Mingy, and then they moved him into central midfield, and he looks the same again. I'm really excited by him. He looks like a player and like an athlete, and I think he will be a really useful addition. And same again. So even all the subs, they all made an impact. So I wouldn't, like I say, I can understand why they give it to Will. I would have understood if they give it to Wotton or Barry or Bay or Horsfall. None of them, even Ethan Pye, nothing spectacular from Ethan, but didn't look out of place at League One. Didn't look, you wouldn't.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting because on Fort Mob, I think this is the first time, certainly that since I've been doing Courtyard Club Call, that every player has got more than 7 as
Yeah.
who started the game anyway. Wotton is their man of the match at 8.5. Fevrier 7.1, Oyango 6.2, but I don't think. Yeah, I don't know what 17 minutes to make an impact.
Yeah.
Odin Bailey came on. Che Gardner came on. Didn't really make an impact, obviously, but off the bench, but he wasn't given that much time. To be fair, I think it was sort of dying minutes. So he was given his debut. You're right. You could have given it to literally any of the players that started the match, really.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And like I say, even Odin Bailey when he come on, he didn't everything you wanted from him. Didn't give the ball away, nice and tidy, draws the fouls in, wins you possession, draws a foul and gets a foul high up the pitch, which then obviously kills their momentum and gives us a platform to have a attack at goal. But yeah, no, really, really, we got that voodoo out the way. Same again, we won a game. We said before the game, this was one of them games that if you didn't go to it and you met up with somebody in the pub after the game and you said, well, how did it go? You said, lost 1-0, you'd have believed them. We won 2-0, you'd have believed them. Won 5-0, you would have believed them. We were lost 2-1, we were 1-0 up in the 85th minute and then we ended up losing it 2-1. Well, you go, well, it is County first game of the season. You'd have believed that. You'd have believed that we might have got a red card after not having a league red card all last season, that we could have ended up getting a red card in the first 5 minutes. You would have believed it. If you weren't there to actually watch it and someone told you it in the pub after, you'd have believed that because it's County and it's the first game of the season. So, like I say, to get that hoodoo out the way, clean sheet, 2-0, hopefully, same again, fingers crossed there was no injuries to come out of that game. It couldn't have gone any better, to be honest, as an opening day fixture for County.
Yeah, Bate. I think Bate was the only suspected injury there. It was Bate, wasn't it? Did he come off at the end?
Yeah. He's come off. He got clattered. So Challoner said that hopefully it was nothing. But he's saying again he didn't want to really commit to it because he's had his fingers burnt before when he said it. So he'll be back for next week and then he's out for 3 months.
Yeah, fair enough. So that was the match in depth. Seb Stockbridge, the referee, ref watch. I mean, to me, I always get this. I always get this thing that certainly when we've won as routine as this appeared to be, I don't really see much about the ref. I don't remember him giving any bad decisions. I may be wrong. Other people may see it differently, but to me, he just sort of bled into the background.
For me, it was a bit of a hard one because he was giving yellow cards out willy-nilly to County players, I thought, but then would allow certain Cambridge players to have 3, 4, 5 bites at the cherry and give them warnings and then give them a warning with the team captain, where County players just got a yellow card straight away. Right. With that, there was a few times I thought in the second half that he lost it a little bit. He's not going to be the worst referee we have this season. He's definitely not the best referee we're going to have. Like I said, we've had him a few times last season. I think we had him at Bradford at home last season, where we give that penalty away in the last minute. He's, like I say, not the best, not the worst. Hopefully we don't have him that much this season. I think he's a League 2 referee. I don't think he's a League 1 referee. Is probably the best way of putting it.
Fair dues. Yeah. Well, your knowledge of refs is probably better than mine. So, yeah. Let's leave that one there. Okay. So we're at the end of the first Courtyard Club Call of the actual season against Cambridge. Nice 2-0 win. Felt routine. Glad to be back in League 1. And crowd of 9,457. Do join us on Wednesday, where we'll be live from the County Arms this week with I think all the team are going to be here, all the podcast team, and you will see us on the Courtyard Club Call next week, where we review the Blackpool match.
Yeah, weekend in Blackpool.
Yes.
Well, no,
Yeah.
Blackburn on Tuesday and
Yeah.
same again, which, to be honest, might turn out to be more like a youth fixture than a cup game, listening to obviously what Challoner was saying. But it's still an opportunity to watch County under the floodlights and have a pint and talk rubbish with fellow County fans. And then, yeah, we'll all get our bucket hats on and get ready for invading Blackpool. With obviously the rest of the tickets have been sold out online this morning, so I think there'll be over 4,000 County fans there, all itching to get a donkey ride.
Well, I'll leave the donkey riding to everybody else. Good stuff. Right, Dan, cheers, mate, and I will see you in the County Arms on Wednesday.
Yep, see you later, mate.
See you later, mate.